Hello, guys. This is Mr. Tyrex.
No, I'm Grant.
And the Dragon Lover 95.
And we're going to, and this is the first Mr. Tyrex's Tyrex Lounge recording. And this is where we talk about in our genuine reaction videos on stuff like this. I was inspired from Anomaly Inc. to do this video on Cosmonaut Variety Hour. Huge shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you know me, I basically do these. I do the readings with Ty and the others, where we basically lose our sanity, or we just poke fun at the stuff that we're reading.
Yeah, and the bat could join in the middle of our session.
Yeah, if he chooses to, that is.
Yeah.
Also
He has a finicky way of showing up.
Yeah. One time he showed up and he screamed when we did Sonic Other M, written by Ian Flynn.
Yeah.
Before he came on to Archie.
AKA the Sonic Boomer.
Yeah, you can look up her Sonic Other M comics. We do. Grant.
Yeah.
Nice. But I'm going to say this. I'm not really into other. I never want to.
It's okay. You're doing a good job at pretty much avoiding joining in that fate.
Oh, God.
You're better off that way.
Yeah.
Besides, written by Ian Flynn, that male feminist.
I didn't expect that, but yeah.
And he supports corporatization.
This is why I'm making my own comic here, revising an old comic that I did. Let's just say, even back then, I kind of was a little confident with writing the stuff.
Yeah.
Including characters and such.
Yeah, that's why I will never read that stuff from the corporate entity known as IDW.
Understandable. I just rather pretty much see what people pretty much come up with.
Alright.
Reviewers and such. Anyways, let's just get this video on the road.
Alright, in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
You may want to lower that down a bit.
Greetings, gamers. I just got back from the future, and while I was there, I decided to watch the latest.
Does it sound decent?
May want to lower it a little more, not too low, or. I can see it, but okay, it's cleared up.
All right.
Star Wars movie. Now, if you ask me, I thought the movie was pretty. But despite the graphic male nudity, I still thought it was pretty good.
That's good.
And since it's
okay, that was a out of nowhere joke. You say graphic male nudity in Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker?
I'm sorry. What?
What does?
Sorry. What
does that have to do with anything?
Absolutely nothing.
Keep in mind, I did not see those. I did not see the new Star Wars movies.
And also, Ashley, look at the background. There's some yaoi stuff he has on his laptop.
I'm a yaoi person. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. But when it's something like this, that's where I draw the line. Where it's out of nowhere.
That's a bit distracting.
Yeah. To be fair, and also to be perfectly honest, I originally liked the sequel trilogy, and then 2009 happened. I realized, and did my research on it, and realized that that Disney Star Wars is fucking shit. I'm not going to side with Rise of Skywalker.
I thought The Force Awakens was good with Acts 1 and 2, but when Act 3 came, it went down. The sequel trilogy went downhill from there.
Because my feminism.
And when Disney started listening to the racist Chinese.
Ouch.
Those racist authoritarians, the same ones that, the left always sucking up.
We just call them
Yeah.
Star
KFC.
Wars season again, I figure we'll go back to basics and I'll just review every Star Wars movie ever made.
Ooh, this
If you
ought to
ask
be
me,
good.
Star Wars is what I would classify as the perfect franchise.
What?
The perfect franchise. Okay, whatever you say, dude. Whatever.
Is that the guy who hates on the prequels and likes the sequel trilogy and does sequel trilogy?
Yeah, if anything, there's no such thing as a perfect franchise.
You could call it excellent at best.
Yes.
Like a 10 out of 10, which 10 means for excellent, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It has a timeless setting that you can apply just about any story to.
You say Star Wars is timeless, and you hate the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
So many red
Strange.
flags.
In this extremely versatile world, you can experience an explosive action-adventure movie.
And you're showing off, like, Rogue One and Return of the Jedi. Movies you thought were, like, okay, but you had, like, hateful feelings for them.
Yeah.
Then I basically had fun with the Family Guy version.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The Family Guy versions were awesome. Like, George Lucas does like parody stuff.
Which
Like-
is fine.
Like Robot Chicken, Spaceballs, and Family Guy.
Hardware
Yeah.
Wars.
At least it doesn't stray too far from the formula.
Nah.
A plucky kids show, a smaller scale heist movie, an Old West / samurai inspired show, and the movie version of What a Nightmare Feels Like.
Oh god.
No. The sequel trilogy is a movie version of What a Nightmare Feels Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rogue One and Solo, kinda in between, but Rogue One not at all. Solo is just like, okay, whatever, mate.
I tried watching Last Jedi again. My brain isn't fine tuned to Last Jedi. My brain wants me
Oh
to
god.
do something else.
We're
And I
gonna
did.
get to the next two videos later, and he compares the sequel trilogy to the prequels.
All right.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
It's far too early in the video to pretty much judge right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, don't be a Dylan
And
Thomas.
everybody
Don't pretty
has their
much
own
pause too often,
favorite
please.
Star Wars thing. I like KOTOR and Clone Wars. A lot of people are really into that new Mandalorian show.
Yeah.
And there are even some brave souls still playing Battlefront. But it all centers around the movies.
Well, around its 2017, no, until 2019.
Yep.
Thanks to the
Oh.
loot boxes and shit like that.
Loot boxes, microtransactions, gambling.
Yeah, until they all
Everything wrong with
until
gaming.
EA finally listened to people and removed it.
Mhm.
So for the next few weeks, I'm going to be watching and ranking every Star Wars movie. I think it might take like 3 videos, because while I've already made videos on some of these movies, I haven't really gone too deep on most of them. So get ready everybody, because this video is going to be the nice one. Because we're going to start with the original trilogy, with a little movie that came out in
Just start
1977.
with the prequel trilogy first.
But no, he doesn't like the prequel trilogy because he wants to do it by release date order.
Simply
Because George
called
was back.
Star Wars.
I do hope.
We're about
Wait
to
a
get
minute,
hyperbolic here.
Actually, no. Actually, play it first because I'm going to get to that part later.
Yeah.
Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think A New Hope is a perfect movie. Flaws and all.
Then that's not a perfect movie then. You just would call it excellent. That doesn't make any sense.
You do realize this film was nominated for Best Picture and didn't win for Best Picture.
And I fully know that I am the most biased person to be saying this. But honestly, while I've been a Star Wars fan for as long as I've had sentience, I actually didn't love this movie that much until pretty recently. A few years ago, I was sitting with one of my exes who had never seen any Star Warses, and I tried to warp my brain and watch it with them as if I had never seen it before in my life. And watching it with this perspective changed how I saw this movie. After I watched it, I decided to look up reviews from 1977, and they are amazing. Because back then, this kind of movie just didn't exist, and people didn't know how to articulate their thoughts on it. A lot of true cinephiles call Jaws the first blockbuster ever made, and while that's technically correct, I personally see Star Wars as the real birth of the blockbuster that we know today. Action-packed adventure movies with young, likable characters facing off against generic bad guys. And when you read these reviews, you have people like Roger Ebert, who didn't know back...
No, they're not generic. Oh
They're
my...
inspired by countless of historical archetypes, soldiers, of any kind, you name it. I don't want to get too political here, so
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
World
and how
War
to describe
II,
what he
Rome, everything that inspired George, the creator of Star Wars, to make these bad guys.
Yes.
just saw. He calls it an out-of-body experience, and he marvels at how the movie can be so entertaining without having a deep message at all. So now, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to humor me, okay? Imagine watching this movie without knowing anything about Star Wars, without knowing what a stormtrooper is, without knowing anything about the Jedi or the Empire. Pretend these are all brand new concepts. I want you to watch this first movie with that perspective. Sit with me and imagine that you're sitting in the theater in 1977, and this is the first thing you see.
Every word you just said is basically, nah, fuck it, turn off your brain, we're having fun.
The first
Yeah.
thing we see is a
And look at this. He's looking at the original OG 1977 edition.
If
As
you
you
don't
see,
like-
there's no subtitle called Episode 4 New Hope.
If you don't like the subtitle, just something titled Star Wars 1977. If you have hate burn for the subtitle A New Hope.
Exactly.
That is just stupid.
And hypocritical at the same time.
Yes, because this is his favorite movie in the Star Wars franchise.
Which favorite movie is it, Cosmonaut? Which movie is it? Is it A New Hope? Is it Empire? Is it the prequels? Return of the Jedi? Which one?
Yeah, which
Blindly label
is
A New Hope.
it, man? Which is it?
We
The
can't just
text
blindly
box-
label it as your favorite movie and the flawless movie, flaws and all. Especially its original incarnation. Just,
to introduce us to this world. And normally, I would say this is dumb as fuck, but the text is concise and easy to
Dumb as
understand.
fuck?
Let's be honest with ourselves
What?
here. Back
Okay.
I'm so confused to his
in
words.
1977, this was considered a pretty weird fucking movie.
Yeah, it's weird because it takes place in a galaxy far, far away, dude.
Just as the titles, such as the scrolling text describe.
There's a princess with her hair and weird buns on the side and a giant in a monkey suit or something. I mean, it was weird. It was very, very weird.
So
I
for
never thought
once,
Chewie as a monkey. I saw him as like some sort of Yeti.
Yes.
Or Bigfoot, my bad.
That's
Like
fine.
Sasquatch.
Yes. Sasquatch aliens.
with putting all the exposition right here at the beginning. They managed to fit a lot of information in this small space. And plus, the music is cool and the presentation is engaging. The text floating away from us at this angle is more visually stimulating than if it was static or even if it just scrolled vertically. I mean, look how boring this looks.
I mean, it would look impressive for a power presentation or a fan film, but
Yeah.
for an actual movie, no.
Yep.
It looks like shit. Now after that, we get this iconic shot.
It looks like shit. Not Not really.
I personally think the beginning of a movie is the most important part, and this movie hooks you in the best way. It starts off right in the middle of the action, baby. With just a block of text and some simple imagery, we know exactly what's going on here. These are the rebels, and this is the Empire, and the Empire is really big and really scary and strong, and damn, he's
I
really
decided
tall.
there's a ship going after a smaller ship.
Yes.
Golly, what he ate there. Small ship, big ship. Golly, that sounds like a certain someone that's inspired you to do that edit. I wonder who could be.
Yes, we'll save that in the next video.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Good for random equals funny humor, but not so when it comes to critiquing. Lovely.
No.
Yes.
It's more of style over substance.
The prequels is funnier with like the window thing. I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
The
Carry
only
on.
characters that we have to follow so far are these two robots, and they have such distinct and entertaining personalities, and one of them can't even fucking speak English.
Yeah. Different droids means different ways of speaking.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, sir, but he appears to have picked up a slight flutter.
I'm gonna beat that attitude up out you, bitch. You big fat bitch, oompa loompa body ass bitch.
How dare you call me that?
The movie opens up with two faceless robots on a planet full of aliens, and we are scared.
Wow.
It's only later that we see some normal people on this planet. Luke being introduced at this point is perfect because this is when he's actually important to the overall story. Now, this might seem like an obvious point to make, but it's not obvious to everybody, most namely George Lucas himself. See, in the original edit, George actually put in extra scenes of Luke during this opening act, and it really kills the pacing. It's incredibly boring. Luke doesn't have anything to do with the story, but I guess he thought he had to introduce his main character sooner, and I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that. Most movies do it that way.
It was
but
a
it's good that
it was a last ditch effort before pretty much just going with the scene we have now.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind the scene being in the movie, but whatever works.
Yeah.
things are streamlined here because this movie has a lot to explain. We're only like 20 minutes into the movie and we've already seen robots, a princess, lasers that kill people, lasers that don't kill people, gigantic spaceships.
It's a stun gun.
It's a stun gun. If you see a normal blast, orangey thing, that is lethal. But the rings is to stun people, meaning shoot them alive.
They're the equivalency of Manila's ring attack. And that's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
Gun knocks you out. Blaster bolts kill you.
Yes.
And an evil cyborg samurai wizard. And the fact
By
that
the way,
none of
there's
this
your
becomes
Godzilla
too
reference, people.
much for the audience is all because the pacing and flow of information is perfect. To this day, I still don't have any idea what the fuck Luke actually does with his aunt and uncle. But
Farming! Farming!
Moisture farming, to be exact.
Yes, he's a
He was
farm
there.
boy.
Yeah, why else do you think? Gosh,
Gosh, you have such a tiny brain, dude.
how could you not know that? Even I pretty much could figure out the fact that he was basically a farm boy. Because farm boys basically live out in certain countrysides.
Yes.
Did he honestly watch the movie and just randomly pull clips of the iconic moments of each film from YouTube? I think he did, and just add them to make it look like.
Also,
he's
it's
actually-
raining out where I am.
It
It's
was
raining in my area too.
Yeah, it's raining in my area too.
I mean, hey, it's better than having it be in the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I'm looking forward to it being fall.
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to it too.
My favorite season.
Summer and fall are my favorites. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
Yes.
I know he doesn't like it, and that's all that really matters. Once Luke is introduced to the story, we can start experiencing the world through his eyes. Characters start explaining things more. We learn about the Force and Vader from Obi-Wan, and then right after that, we have a scene showing us what kind of person Vader is and how the Force can be used. This is a
Not completely with characterization.
You'll only get to know Vader come episodes 5 and 6, and
then the prequels.
trilogy. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't show Vader's complete characterization here.
Perfect flow of information. As the events on Tatooine start ramping up, we see that the Empire has the princess, and they're fucking torturing her. Because while our heroes are moving forward, we as an audience need to be reminded that things are getting worse. This keeps the tension up. We are constantly building up the story and at the same time meeting new characters in an organic way. A lot of movies have trouble with balancing a large cast, but this movie manages to rapidly throw in character after character, and they're all iconic and distinct from one another. Rogue One has a cast that's basically the same size as this movie, and some of those characters are not fun to watch.
I mean, it takes time to get used to these characters.
Just from the fact, keep in
Yeah,
mind,
that's the point.
just from the fact, keep in mind this is made on Kathleen Kennedy's own hand. So,
But I
expect a
do
lot of
like
reach.
I do like Rogue One.
I don't mind it.
Yeah,
So-
all these Star Wars spin-offs from Disney are harmless, really.
Solo
Yeah,
being
they're
the
just
worst.
harmless.
Solo
It's not
being
a
the
huge
worst,
issue.
so.
Compare that to this movie, where each one of these characters is somebody's favorite Star Wars character. The Cantina scene is also perfect for world building because not only do we see that the galaxy is full of crazy aliens, normal humans, and whatever this guy is, we also see that, oh shit, the old man wasn't lying. He actually is a badass. Also, that guy that our heroes just teamed up with and are putting their trust into is kind of a scumbag. In just one scene, we are told that Han is a wanted man, and then he murders the guy that told him that. As a lot of people already probably know, the original idea was to have Jabba show up here and talk about how Han is a wanted man. In the first draft, Greedo actually spoke English. He was gonna say some other shit, but they dubbed him over in an alien language so that he could exposit all the information from the Jabba scene so they could just cut that Jabba scene. This was all done to make the movie's pace a lot better.
Well, the Jabba scene was made it in 20 years later.
Yeah.
CG.
And it results in a perfect flow of information for the audience, and I am just so horny for that. This movie is really
What?
simple.
He.
I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
sorry, what?
All right.
He's horny for it.
Lot better. And it results in a perfect flow of information for the audience, and I am just so horny for that. This movie
Just showing Jack Nicholson in from The Shining.
No, that's bad. I'm sorry. That's so
I don't
That's
think that was
Shining.
from The Shining because he looks older.
Yeah.
is really simple, but it's
Oh God, that's his favorite word.
what?
Simple.
Oh!
Simple. So many red flags. Simple. Sonic should be simple. Star Wars should be simple. God,
I cringe every time he says simple.
Oh!
I'm just gonna cringe every time he says simple now.
Yes. Can we get a cringe counter? I mean, can we get like a can we keep a counter on?
Alright, that's
so-
1 point for simple.
so effective, and honestly, it's not easy to make a movie that's this solid. This movie was labored over for a while. It got delayed a bunch, and it had to be reshot and re-edited over and over again until it was perfect. Compare that
Because George Lucas because he likes going all out with his movies.
Not to mention he's in a ton of stress being put on the director's chair. So
Yeah.
he's more into experimental films than doing stuff like this.
to the
But he
fact that
still
the prequel's supposed
incorporates experimental elements in his own movies, mainly the Star Wars movies.
I mean, there was a bit of corporatization with the prequels because Fox had to cut out like nearly 2 hours of content from Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
supposedly got rushed and shipped out on one draft. If it was so easy to make a solid movie,
Now,
One draft.
if Star Wars is taken back by George Lucas, it will still fall under Disney now since Disney bought Fox.
One draft.
Yep.
One draft. Subtle.
then they'd all be this good. And we know that they're not all this good.
Oh my god.
I genuinely just love this movie so much. Even when annoying Star Wars fans are arguing about dumb shit, everybody can agree that this movie is
Oh,
Look
says
who's
the guy
talking.
dumb crap right now.
the environments kind of look like shit in this movie. I mean, he has fucking fingerprints on his helmet. People
Yeah, there's no such thing as a perfect movie, Cosmonaut. I mean, like, okay, Vader does have fingerprints on his helmet. He does take his mask off into, like, into areas he can breathe in.
Yeah.
I love that
Yes.
this universe looks dirty and lived in, but I think that was all kind of on accident. I like how Princess Leia is initially shown to be pure and kind-hearted in her first scene, complete with a pretty little musical cue. But then when she meets with the rest of the group, she's a sassy brat who just screams all the time.
Put that thing away, you're gonna get us all killed!
I really like the-
They're in a situation in the enemy's stronghold here. That's the reason. You can't blame her.
Yeah.
And given where she was,
Yeah, her planet was destroyed.
Destroyed.
you can understand why you can understand why she basically would be that way.
She was forced to spill the beans of the rebel on where the rebel plans are. There's nothing she can do to save her home planet, Alderaan. She has no choice but to have Alderaan be destroyed.
Yes, and
Because
Tarkin
the Empire won't let her.
Yes.
awkward stuff, like this moment from Darth Vader.
I sense something. A presence I've not felt since.
And the movie isn't just unintentionally funny either. This is the one movie that made people love Han Solo, and I honestly think it's solely due to the perfect comedic timing of this scene.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here. Oh, thank you. How are you?
I also
He
really
looks
love the
awkward
title
in that
Star
scene.
Yeah.
Wars. It's so simple. It tells you everything that
There's a ghost. Simple, too.
No. I don't think that's the right term.
you need to know. And I'm kind of mad that this movie got changed to A New Hope, and that all the movies are now called Star Wars, because before this was just the name of the first one. I really wish the rest of these movies kept this naming convention, because A New Hope is probably the lamest name ever.
Well, George Lucas planned it out since the 70s.
Did you even listen to the audio commentaries? The audio commentaries. Stop relying on Empire of Dreams. Look for other sources other than Empire
Yeah,
of Dreams.
seriously.
Honestly,
Good
nothing
grief.
can ruin this movie for me. The characters in this movie are perfect, the pacing is great, the music is iconic, the effects are timeless, and the sound design is amazing. Everything is good.
classic,
Any criticism
charming.
I do have for this movie is usually just leveled against the current
Is it good now?
Well, yeah. As long as I don't go for a full screen, then it's fine.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, she can see without full screen vol, so
Alright.
carry on.
design is amazing. Everything is good. Any criticism I do have for this movie is usually just leveled against the current releases of this movie.
Of course, you bitch about the CG.
It doesn't look too bad. Not just
Every
most
good
of-
thing that I've said
I don't
so
know,
far
ages
is
too.
about the original version of this movie, which you have to
It's
watch.
Okay, he's
Outdated.
recommending the original version of this movie.
It's unfinished. It's outdated. Sure, it's remastered.
Illegally.
but it's
The
remastered
only
by
widely
fans.
available versions of A New Hope are honestly fucking awful. There's kind of a
Fucking awful. There's not much of new footages.
It's
Yeah.
something to patch it up to make it less dated. Not to mention connect with the prequel trilogy. Not to mention open up to not to make the environments more open and less
Also-
closed in.
Also, the special editions made us introduce us to Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
stigma attached to Star Wars nerds because people think we complain about dumb shit all the time, and yeah, that's kind of true, but it started back when Lucas was taking this good-ass movie and just fucking with it. You cannot legally watch the original version of this movie. As someone
And for
who
good
loves
reason.
film,
And
Yes.
for good reason. They are not up to his standards. They
Mhm.
are not up to his standards.
I mean, I
They-
do have the original versions. I watched them all the time but when I was a little kid. But now I can see why he did this. Went
I
back
have
and changed things.
I have the 1995 full screen VHS tape of New Hope, and also the 1997 special edition VHS of New Hope. So
Yeah, I got the 1992 VHS tapes from Goodwill.
and I got the 1995 VHS tape from Goodwill. So
Yeah,
and then
I
1997 one
used to
for
have those,
books. The
but
faces.
they were lost.
May they rest in peace.
And also have the 1997 special editions of the original trilogy.
Oh yeah, fun fact. They were active VHS releases for the special editions were also limited edition. This is why TV spots, home video spots that promote the home video releases of special editions, the 1987 ones always have disclaimer while supplies last.
Mm-hmm. Also, yeah, I might even I'm keeping my VCR.
Same. I have two VCRs of three if you count the one in the living room.
Yeah. Yeah, Disney Plus and Hulu, Netflix will not stop me from scrapping off my VCR.
And also, I'm going to get the Phantom Menace and Attack clones on DVD because I don't have a Blu-ray drive on my laptop. I only have a DVD drive.
Yeah, I got a DVD drive on my computer too. So let's get back to the video, shall we?
Yep.
This concept honestly disgusts me. I would feel the same way if you couldn't watch the original version of Twilight.
And you're comparing a crappy movie to this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fanfic galore.
Should be able to watch the original theatrical cut of a film if you really want to.
You should. Okay, I will agree that. Yeah, I would say they should have give you options for like watching the 1977, the 97, or 2004, or the 2011 editions. That's what I think they should have done with Blu-ray. Disney should have done.
I love Blade Runner. I love what Warner Brothers did with Blade Runner.
Yeah. They gave you options of which editions you want.
But George Lucas, and he doesn't release them for a good reason, trying to tell us coherent story, a six-act story.
Yeah, but
it's always nice to release like certain cuts of certain Star Wars films.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
I'm not going all out and just go on full fanboy, ultimate fanboy. Like, where's my original unaltered editions? All we have to deal with is the specialized editions, and it's a stereo mix down.
Where? Why is that creature blocking the point of view of stormtroopers walking up to the sand speeder?
They are not film historians, as Rick put it. They are not film historians. They're not film critics. They're not little kids anymore, like they used to when they first saw the Star Wars films. Oh, bear in mind, the original versions, mind you, can be made in, and also the sources you pull to make these specialized editions are actually came from different subversions, not subversion, versions of each film in the original trilogy. The same can be applied to the prequel trilogy. During the world premiere of A New Hope, the special effects look incomplete. For the wide release, they made version 1.1, where the effects were more finished, and so on and so forth.
And also they had the subtitle this time.
And for the re-releases, and also came the Laserdisc, the definitive collection Laserdisc release serves as the basis for the Last Chance to Own VHS releases back in 1995, they also made changes, and also especially with the audio. And then came 1997, the special edition.
All right.
But nope, instead we have these boo-boo ass versions of A New Hope. And
Okay, enough.
all these new versions
Dude.
shit on the stuff that I just praised. Oh, the movie has timeless practical effects? Fuck you, now there's CGI everywhere.
So
Literally everywhere. Oh, the pacing is perfect? Fuck you, now we have to add scenes of pointless exposition with more bad effects.
Oh my gosh.
Originally,
They
Jabba was
wanted-
supposed to have a scene.
They wanted to go deeper in with the Jabba scene. The Jabba.
Oh no! It just ruins his surprise moment in Return of Jedi.
Out of curiosity, what the heck is Jabba supposed to be, anyways?
A slug creature. A slug creature.
Okay.
Not to mention, OT purists.
Also,
in case you didn't know, Jabba appeared in the Phantom Menace.
by the way, OT Fanatic adds, get your free Boba Fett pajamas today.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
What a pointless character Boba Fett is. He went, what the? And then, yeah, in the Star Wars.
And plus, they cry about Jango Fett's actor voicing Boba Fett in the later special editions. Like, oh my god, it's to keep with continuity.
That's why he was born a clone. Boba Fett was born a clone of Jango Fett,
and he requested Dooku to have an unmodified clone. If you played if you watched the Star Wars Bounty Hunter video game or played it, that is. I might
Jango Fett. At least he put a good fight.
I might get Star Wars Bounty Hunter at a video game store or buy it on PlayStation 4.
I need to get that game.
Yeah. So. You have a PS4?
PS4? No, I have a PS2.
Yeah, you can go to a video game store and get it. Like, I can just digitally download Bounty Hunter.
And also that review of that game by the Unusual Suspect, he recommends new time players of Star Wars Bounty Hunter to get a turbo controller, otherwise you die.
Also, what 2002 we got Attack of the Clones, and then games before the events and after the events.
Oh, we have a scene that perfectly establishes one of our main characters and shows that he's kind of a scumbag?
Well, they wanted to show deeper. They wanted to get deeper within.
Yep.
Nah, fuck that. We can't have him shoot Greedo first. That's what bad guys do. Let's make Greedo shoot.
Well, Han Solo's a criminal.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a space cowboy.
Yep. Not to mention that stunt he did was inspired by not only the good and bad and the ugly, but Cheyenne Autumn. Cheyenne did first, then the good, the bad, ugly, and then A New Hope.
Shoot first, and then Han breaks his neck to dodge it because he's cool
So
and heroic.
what?
Oh wait, never mind. I changed my mind. Han can be edgy, but he still can't be evil, so he can't shoot first, but he can shoot at almost the same time as Greedo. And every time we re-release the movie, let's change it a little bit more. So now in the most recent version, let's add another line. It's really important that I add this line, okay? Everybody listen. So Han has his iconic line where he says this.
Yes, I bet you have.
And then the guns go off and Greedo dies. But let's make Greedo say the last word now, okay? Now Greedo's gonna say Maclunkey. Because, I don't know, I guess it's to show that Greedo telegraphs that he's gonna shoot Han, and it explains how he can dodge the laser instantaneously without having superpowers. But hey, I don't know, maybe we should just go back and keep it the way it was.
Is too
Oh my gosh, there was a punchable moment right there.
Yes.
It was in the first 11 minutes. It's 20 minutes long in the first part. He hasn't touched Empire and Jedi yet.
And
Yep.
and now we're going to get into it.
Oh
10,
boy.
the greatest film of all time. I can't wait for the sequel.
Empire Strikes Back.
So I had a lot of nice stuff to say about the first Star Wars movie.
With the exception of the special editions.
And Star Wars is notorious for having movies that are not exactly equal in quality. So, is The Empire Strikes Back as good as the original Star Wars? Nah, bruh. Don't tell anybody I said this, but it's actually better. A lot of people think Empire is the best Star Wars movie, and sometimes
gee,
I
I
agree
wonder
with
why.
that. I kind of regularly go back and forth on if I like this or A New Hope more. To me, they're
Hey,
equal because I can't watch A
Cosmonaut.
New Hope without watching Empire right afterwards.
You do realize the critical reception to Empire was actually mixed. The audience loved it, but the critics felt it wasn't as wasn't as wasn't as good as the first Star Wars movie. But over time, they enjoyed The Empire Strikes Back when during releases and home video releases and all that stuff. So yeah. Don't take it as like the critics and audiences loved it when it first came out. Critics were divided with that film, but almost as
Yes.
divided as Blade Runner.
Well, I'm surprised by that. I never heard of that, but yeah, like same thing will go with the prequel trilogy. Fans will love it over the time.
Yeah, or
It's like
no,
Kill Bill
no,
1
no.
and 2.
Did
You
he
gotta
say
judge them
Kill Bill
together.
1 too?
And much like Kill Bill, both of these movies are vastly different from. I kind of regularly go back and forth on if I like this or A New Hope more. To me, they're equal because I can't watch A New Hope without watching Empire right afterwards. It's like Kill Bill 1 and 2, you gotta judge them together. And much like Kill Bill, both of these movies are vastly different from one another. This movie isn't as flashy or bombastic, and it's not trying to prove anything to the audience. A New Hope has to reel you in right from the start and build up this grand adventure, but Empire's kinda slow in comparison. The pacing isn't as good, and it's more about building upon the world that we've already seen. And that's
what George Lucas wants to do. Even though this was directed by Irvin Kershner, George Lucas written this.
And Lawrence Kasdan co-written it. Well, with additional writing credits from Lawrence Kasdan. You know, the same guy who directed the one and only Silverado.
But then again, George Lucas mainly wrote this.
Exactly.
Kind of the vibe
He's
of the whole movie. It builds upon the last
one with the brain. One who handles the main part of The Empire Strikes Back.
And Return of the Jedi. We will get to.
one. It makes things just a little bit better, and some aspects are a lot better. Firstly, from the opening scenes, you can see that the movie is just shot better than the last one. The lighting is a lot more atmospheric, and the camera actually moves around more with our characters. A New Hope is shot in a very static way, and this movie's.
That's because Irvin Kershner, granted, Irvin Kershner is basically breaking boundaries in terms of towards what George wanted. Take the conversation between the rebel soldiers and Leia, for instance. The set is supposed to be meant for 2 shots, but Kershner wanted to be only a panning shot.
Yeah,
from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm. And
it's harmless, but.
Yeah, this is in between A New Hope and the prequels. George Lucas had Irvin Kershner, Richard Marquand, and Steven Spielberg direct his written stories.
Steven Spielberg?
He did Indiana Jones, which that was also George Lucas's story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is a lot more dynamic. One other thing that I love is how Star Wars is the one movie series that doesn't waste time explaining the previous movie for people who haven't seen it. The only exposition we get in Empire is Han reminding us that he has a price on his head, and that's okay because in the original cut of A New Hope, it wasn't really a point that was focused on a whole lot. This movie fully expects that you have watched the original Star Wars, and if you were around when this movie came out, you probably did, so it's not that big a deal. Now,
yes, of course, I have watched this movie as a kid. My parents also showed me this.
While the pacing in this movie isn't really as good, I do think the story flows in an engaging way nonetheless. Every Star Wars movie cuts between the heroes and the villains, and this is the first movie to show us more about the villains as people. Vader is a much more fleshed out character in this movie, and this is important because we're going to have to learn a lot more about him as a person so we can be hit harder by the twist in the climax. And every character, honestly, gets growth in this movie, which is something that's absent in the previous one.
Of course, it's called character development.
And arc, too.
Han is struggling with his responsibility to his new friends because deep down he really wants to just run away and hide from all the conflict. Every time he wants to flee, he comes back to either save Luke or get closer to Leia, and it's only at the end of the movie that he finally accepts that he loves his friends and he is sacrificed to prove this point. And if you ask me, this is where Han should have died, but we'll talk more about that later. However, the best character growth in this movie is obviously Luke. Luke still just wants to fight the Empire because he's very much the same hot-headed, impatient kid from the last movie. He jumps headfirst into danger constantly, and this movie is basically a giant lesson for him to chill the fuck out and start thinking about things more.
Yeah, that's what he came from his father's side.
Wants to be a Jedi, but he doesn't want to put in the work. He thinks Jedi have to be strong, brave warriors, but the Jedi Master he meets in this movie is a weird goblin who steals his hot dogs.
Hey!
This whole time he thinks the Empire is just pure evil, but he has his faith shaken upon hearing that.
Yeah, he eats because he hasn't eaten much. He's in an exiled planet where there's not much food and supplies.
That Vader is his father. And in the end, he gets his ass beaten, thrown in the garbage. I really like movies where our hero is beaten because it makes their eventual victory much sweeter. And this is all made even better by Mark Hamill's performance as Luke. Most of this movie is just him on his own interacting with puppets. In his scenes on Dagobah, this is seriously just Mark Hamill, and underneath the floor is Miss Piggy.
Now they couldn't hear above, and Mark couldn't hear Frank Oz. How do you do a scene? You can't hear each other. I give Mark a lot of credit for this.
But despite that, these scenes offer some of the best moments in the entire franchise. My personal favorite moment in this movie is when Yoda explains the Force to Luke. Yoda's speech about the Force is the best explanation of what the Force is.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter.
And when people say, oh, I like the Sith because they aren't boring and they can have sex, I kind of roll my eyes because the way...
You're disgusting. That is just disgusting.
Illiterate. Jedi and Sith, especially during the time of the Old Republic, cannot reproduce. They are not Pokemon.
Oh.
The way Yoda speaks makes it sound like he has a genuine understanding and love for the Force, where anytime the Sith talk about it, they only use the most simplistic language.
There we go again, simplistic. That's 3.
Simplistic. Just, it doesn't matter. It's visually marvelous. Lovely.
It's to show you that they really don't understand it at all. I appreciate that other media has worked to make things seem a little more gray, but I also like the way this movie deals with the inherent black and white nature of this concept. Overall, this movie is just really good at emotional moments like this. Reviews back then called this movie darker.
But I find the prequels more emotional.
Than the first movie, but if you ask me,
also that part when Luke beheaded like
a dark spirit.
Yeah, dark spirit. That is obviously a stunt dummy, a stunt mannequin. How? Okay, I don't mind stunt mannequins, but why? How you compare this better than the prequels? Granted, the CGI, Darth Maul's death in CGI was actually pretty bad. It was actually pretty bad even for the time. I assume it's done intentionally to scare some viewers who actually witnessed it. But this is beyond hypocritical on OT Pierce's part.
Yes.
God, feels more mature, not exactly darker. The first movie introduces us to good and evil in this universe.
Yeah, simple.
and this movie works to flesh out those sides a little bit more. This movie is also lucky because it's the one movie in the original trilogy that is virtually unscathed by any special edition changes. While A New Hope has been butchered by the recent releases, this movie is almost completely untouched. Even George Lucas himself realized that this movie is one that he doesn't need to mess with too much. The Empire Strikes Back is a pretty cool movie.
You sure? Because the part where in Han Solo says "I know," there's a continuity error where he's actually wearing his blue jacket, but in special editions they color it to white. You keep consistency.
Yes.
And if you like Star Wars, you already know that. And yeah, it's a crying shame that this is the last good Star Wars movie before Disney bought things. And yes, I very much stand by that. 10 out of 10. It's also good. Let's watch the dumb one now.
Boy.
Oh God, help me.
So now we have the
It's
conclusion.
only
that George
gonna
Lucas
go well.
Oh, yes. This is interesting.
His original vision, Return of the Jedi. And I've already made a video on this movie. That was
You know what? We're gonna watch that after this video.
Okay.
Actually my very first Why It Sucks video. And while that was a long time ago and my approach to these kinds of videos has changed a bit, my opinions have not changed at all. Anyway,
come on, your
watch that
opinions
video,
could
the link-
change.
And it also there's also a suggestion I got at the top.
Is somewhere around here. It's either in the description or up there. I don't know. It's not hard to find.
Yes, thanks for pointing it out. I just saw it earlier. Thank you.
But hey,
Of
this
course.
is the ultimate review, and I can't just not talk about it. So let's paraphrase that last video in a lightning round. Here's everything I don't like about Return of the Jedi. Han Solo sucks. He's boring as shit in this movie. He isn't the funny, charismatic character we knew him as. I guess
He's still good.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
not good. He still has those lines and such.
Yeah.
I mean, it
moments.
could have been some spots that need fixing, but overall, I'm perfectly fine with it. There's nothing wrong.
Carbonite just deletes your personality because he is not the same man.
Also, no one
Carbonite
cares to-
erases your personality. He still has personality.
Of course. Not to mention, no one bitches about Lando cover isn't being on the picture for like a couple, like more than several minutes, like around 30 or 40 minutes of the film.
Yeah, there's like 4 primary characters: Luke, Leia, Han, and Vader.
In this movie, he is just a straight-up buffoon. He takes on a strangely passive role in this movie, and he should have died in The Empire Strikes Back. Just think about how cool it would be. It would have really solidified his character arc. I really like him in The Force Awakens, but I don't know, would have liked it more if he wasn't ruined in this movie by overstaying his welcome. And I say this a lot.
What do you
but this
mean
movie-
overstaying his welcome? Oh, you mean overstaying his welcome? So what?
Is really
He's still part
fucking
of the
boring. It
team
is so
trio.
Yes,
Trio.
he's still part of the main 3 or main 4, if you want to say.
so uneventful. The last movie has the Empire mounting a counterattack against the rebels. It's literally the whole plot of the movie. It's in the title, for crying out loud. So why did the
Not to
Empire...
mention, the rebels are at a disadvantage in The Empire Strikes Back.
Just stop
They're taking
striking.
heavy casualties by the AT-ATs or ATATs. And
Or
forced to
AT&T,
retreat
or better
and
yet,
regroup.
AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
I call them AT&T because it's a Vanos gaming reference.
TNT.
Why are they just hanging out in this movie? What happened to make them decide, oh, you know what, let's just stop attacking the rebels for a few years. Who cares?
A small rebel force has penetrated the shield and landed on Endor.
Yes, I know.
The structure of this movie is also completely fucked. The whole first act is centered around this absolutely fucking insane plan that Luke comes up with, where he just allows himself and all his friends to get captured just so he can launch an all-out brawl with Jabba in the desert. Couldn't he just go there with his lightsaber and his friends and fight everybody? If that
They want to catch he wants to catch Jabba by surprise and sneak into Jabba's palace. Have his friends sneak in and grab Han Solo. And if it doesn't work out, Luke will come and rescue them.
Also, I found it funny that Oliver Harper, an OT fanboy, mind you, and hates the prequels because my regular media says that with Return of Tatooine, it's like it has explored many places other than Endor. If the Empire Strikes Back, it will open up to new worlds. Like, bruh, New Hope, Tatooine. We only got a glimpse of Alderaan and Yavin 4, the fourth moon of Yavin, Empire, Hoth, and then the asteroid field, which is not a planet, it's just an asteroid field, like spread across the entire galaxy, and then Bespin, and then actually Dagobah, and then Bespin, and then Return of the Jedi, Tatooine, and then Endor. Unless you count the middle of space.
And also, if you count the special editions, Coruscant.
Mm-hmm. And the 2004 revision, Naboo.
That was your plan from the start, then why don't you just do it here? Then after that, we get this extremely riveting subplot about our characters camping in the forest. I honestly cannot think of a single exciting thing that happens in this middle chunk of the movie. I make fun of the first act because it's all really stupid and Luke's plan makes no sense, but at least it had exciting shit. But for a vast majority of this movie, I honestly struggle to stay awake. There's a lot of unnecessary dialogue, and before the final battle, it is just a sluggish and agonizingly boring movie. It's a weak finale to the trilogy, and it doesn't even come remotely close to matching the level of quality seen in the previous two films. I don't like Return of the Jedi, and it's the one movie in the original trilogy that I do not watch. If anything, I skip to the end because the final battle has some cool stuff in it. The movie does have good moments, but if I'm judging the full picture, I cannot give it a good score. 6 out of 10.
That is kind of a decent score, dude.
But
that means
a bit over-exaggerated. But
that means good, decent, or okay.
Average. No, very good.
So that's the original trilogy out of the way, and despite the fact that I don't really like Jedi that much, I think we have a pretty good
Star Wars music.
6 out of 10 means you like it.
Score. 6 out of 10.
Oh,
very disappointing. Years to come, and in the late 90s, rumors...
5. 5. If you're disappointed, 4. 4.5. Not just
a 6.
Were that George Lucas would return to make new movies. And while I had only been alive for 6 years, I still vividly remember going to the theater in 1999 to see a brand new Star Wars movie. So did George follow up with a faithful continuation to the franchise? No, he fucking shit all over it. These movies are bad. They're all...
Your your review is bad. Your review is awful.
And for some reason, this is now some kind of hot take.
Your reviews are some kind of hot take.
I feel like I'm living in an alternate dimension because people are actually trying to tell me these movies are good now. You have to literally be brainwashed in order to like them.
Well, you literally have to be brainwashed in order to take advice from Red Letter Media.
Golly, what you saying right now, Cosmonaut? What you're saying sounds like a certain someone that's just brainwashed your mind. I wonder who could be.
Mr. Plinkett.
Sorry if I did the dumb show there from his Gamer Guy busting video. I wonder who could be. Oh God, help me.
The only people who like them are either children or people who watch them as children. And
children or people who watch them as children.
That's the guy who watches the original trilogy like a child, just like every single
these children
boy.
Yes.
Grew up into people with very strong opinions.
I want to punch you in the fucking face. Get that out of my face.
And they want you to think these movies are secretly art. Well, they aren't.
Your videos aren't art.
Suck. They're bad.
Well, they are with your editing skills and such and your humor.
Bad movies.
Basically, now I'm envisioning how the stream is going. I'm basically envisioning a giant T-Rex basically doing his own self-love rants. Oh wait, that's us.
Oh Cosmonaut, oh Cosmonaut, oh Cosmo, why have you forsaken me? Why have you forsaken me? Why?
Alright, let's go on to this prequel video. Not the actual prequels, but a video on the original part of the original trilogy 2 years ago.
Return of the Jedi really sucks. And that's coming from me, a huge fucking Star Wars fan.
a huge fucking Star Wars fan?
I highly doubt. I highly doubt, especially the fact that your first movie you saw in theaters was none other than The Phantom Menace. If he was told us you watched the OT first, then he must have watched the special editions in theaters. But no, actually, you grew up with the prequels, and you loved them until you've been brainwashed by Red Letter Media.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Look at this. Out of all the guys, he looks like the punchable one.
Not to mention Bear's cosplay. Bear's cosplay.
Yeah.
And also, that must be Jern Urso right there.
Oh.
Huge fucking Star Wars fan. Okay, I love Star Wars books, games, movies, shows.
Wait,
It doesn't
what?
matter. I just
what?
like-
Was that the Kinect version? Was that the Kinect game?
Yes,
What?
it's the Han Solo song. Feeling like
Oh
it's
my
the
god, John!
Oh,
John, anybody? John, anybody?
Star Wars a lot. You guys already probably.
Oh my god.
Oh, God's sake. Hey guys, to quote Mahler, oh for God's sakes, we all knew it was going to be shit.
Yes. Yes.
Solo, an unbridled rage.
Yes, but Cosmonaut Variety Hour is Mahler's bane of existence.
Of course.
We know that because my last few videos and streams have just been Star Wars. So don't start cracking your knuckles and typing.
Omae wa mu. Shinde ru.
Ooh, Sunday nu.
Nani?
About how I'm not a real fan because I have problems with this movie. Now I'm not the oldest person here on the internet who makes a living complaining about things on YouTube. So I wasn't alive when Jedi came out.
Of course you weren't.
Regardless, as a fan of media and pop culture, I like to watch older movies with the mindset of the time period.
James Rolfe saw this as a kid.
Because not to oh. Hey, he was born. James Rolfe born in 1980, and he was 3 years old when Return of Jedi came out. So around 3 years old when Return of Jedi came out.
That they came out in. I try not to compare them to newer or more modern films. I like to think that if I saw Return of the Jedi for the first time, back when it came out, without seeing any of the newer Star Wars movies, I'd probably still think it sucks. Because it does.
That's okay if you don't like it, but you saying why it sucks, which proves to be an objective statement.
I thought it was subjective. I thought it was like what he says was a subjective statement or something like that. I don't know. In my subjective opinion.
Yeah. Anomaly said that it's an objective statement of you saying why it sucks.
Okay.
I've actually seen a really poorly done rant video on someone doing Nights into Dreams, and they say why it sucks and such, and I'm just like, really? That's the title you're going with? And your points don't really add up either.
Oh, he did Nights into Dreams?
No, someone else did, but I can pretty much send you the link afterwards.
I guess he's a huge Cosmonaut fan.
I see. I got the game from Steam. I need to play that game, so no spoilers.
I haven't played Nights into Dreams at all. I played Journey into Dreams.
Oh, nice.
I might get that for Steam. Probably.
I have Superstar
It's available on
10
Steam.
and All-Stars Racing Transform for my 3DS. I haven't played those yet, but I will.
I got Sonic Adventure, Freedom Planet, and Sonic Mania, God help me, and Sonic Adventure 2. So
yeah, I'm not gonna bother getting Sonic Lost World.
Neither generations because there's nothing to go back to. Besides, I have a PS3 version, but I don't own a PS3 anymore. But thankfully, I saved my money to buy All Stars Transformed instead, and Sonic CD. So
yeah.
Oh gosh, I found it.
All right, I'll check that out later.
I got the thing. I'm gonna send in the link.
Put it in. Yeah, I said Nights.
Yes.
Yeah, Nights.
Yes. Yeah. So Check it out later, of course.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Oh boy.
If you must know, yes, if you're wondering, yes, I did put I did pretty much disliked it because the way this person describes and talks about the game, it's just like, I haven't played the game, but even I wouldn't be that harsh.
No.
For the most part.
Hey, Gold!
Now I'm gonna.
We're watching Cosmonaut Variety Hour.
Hey, Hobobat.
He left.
Oh.
Try
dang.
not to talk about anything in the special edition release of the movie. That really wouldn't be very fair of me, even though there's a lot of shit that I really want to complain about. I'm not talking about that. No. Now get it out of my face. Now let me real quick mention a few things that I actually like about this movie.
All right.
At the end of the day, I can.
All right. If that keeps going, I'm gonna have to keep pausing that because Disney might cut me.
Okay.
Go back and watch just about any Star Wars movie. Though for some, I'm only watching them to get a good hearty laugh, or because I hate myself. You know, man.
Yeah,
I just
whatever.
like Star Wars. So there's quite a few things that I really love in this movie. Though for now, get it out of my face. Now let me real quick mention a few things that I actually like about this movie. At the end of the day, I can go back and watch just about any Star Wars movie. Though for some, I'm only watching them to get a good hearty laugh, or because I hate myself. You know, man, I just like Star Wars, so there's quite a few things that I really love in this movie. For instance, number 1, Luke Skywalker. Luke has never been more of a bona fide badass in this movie. We can really see how Luke has evolved as a Jedi and as a character in general. Luke force chokes the Gamorrean guards as his first...
Character development.
Yes, he's changed over the past year.
Mm-hmm.
They've been looking for Han Solo for a year.
That's why he's been training more.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense that way.
First
he constructed his
on-screen
own
act.
lightsaber.
From his first few lines, you can see how
lightsaber based on Obi-Wan's lightsaber instructions, and then Ben Holmes and the Ben Hut
and used a green kyber crystal in it.
Mm-hmm.
Much more wise and powerful.
This movie introduces the green kyber crystal lightsaber.
Fun fact: the reason for this is because originally it's supposed to be blue, as evident by the posters in advance, mainly Luke holding a blue lightsaber. But it was changed to green because scenes involving the blue blade didn't stand out as well as they expected. So they asked Nelson Shen, who later found Akam, a animation Korean movie, who I think animated the later seasons of the Transformers and did also responsible for the majority of the animation in The Simpsons. To recolor it to green, and thus the green kyber crystal born.
Yes, and also, yeah, they had to retcon the blue lightsaber thing in like the sequel trilogy, so they had to have a comic book series where to what happened with the blue lightsaber, and someone had caught the blue lightsaber while it was falling down.
Yeah.
Is. It's evident that a lot of time has passed between the last movie and now, just based on how he speaks and carries himself. I also love how fucking savage he is. He just wails on people. Luke, have mercy, please. Number 2.
Says the guy who likes to bitch about the choreography in the prequels because a certain someone brainwashed you. Actually, no, your friends who were brainwashed by this certain someone told you that the prequels are bad.
Practical effects in this movie are insane. I've watched a lot of documentaries on this movie, and there are some things that I still cannot fathom. They actually made the entire Sarlacc pit. The whole thing. That shit is real. They made 3 different effects for the Rancor before they found one that they liked. This is a fucking painting. So is this. There's actually a lot of paintings, but it's still really cool. Number 3, Palpatine. Palpatine is so fun. Now, the Plinkett reviews put this pretty well.
There we go! There we go!
Subtle. To quote Dumbsville in his True Love Heart video, part 1. Subtle. Say it with me, folks.
Subtle.
The man seems to find such joy in being pure evil. You gotta respect that.
Yeah, because
I mean,
why the
Sonic-
fuck not?
I mean, Palpatine doesn't need to be all cackling. He must be sinister like in the original trilogy. Just like Titanic, the Titanic of Sonic couples. Insert Plinkett clip of his Titanic review here. I've been trying to warn Dunsville about nothing works. Anyway, carry on.
The cat wanted out.
Now.
He's fucking evil and he loves it.
And you know what? That is
Yeah, because she is.
absolutely true.
Mastermind.
Sometimes a hammy,
Because why the fuck
unapologetically
not?
evil villain is what we want to see in our blockbusters. Plus, we need a character who is more evil than Darth Vader so that we can believe in Vader's eventual redemption. Now, there's other little smaller things I love, but none of this stuff is enough to save the whole movie. So let's go and move on to what you all came here for. The shit I don't like. First and foremost, the performances in this movie are kind of all over the place.
The performances are still good.
They're either really good or super awkward.
That's one.
General, count me in. No. Luke, run away. Far away. If he can feel your presence, then leave this place.
The characters just don't feel like they did in the last two movies. This is acceptable in the case of Luke, but that's because he's changed a lot, and Mark Hamill is obviously doing a much better job than the other guys. Han and Leia act different for no real reason. Oh wait, no, I know the reason. It's because of the director. It's the same reason Oscar-nominated Felicity Jones is really boring as Jyn Erso. Gareth Edwards doesn't really like directing characters. He prefers
What? Then you say, first of all, you say that the original trilogy was only good because of people other than George.
What the? Also,
This is very. You just contradicted yourself.
Yes. If you're gonna be true to your word, be true to your freaking word and keep a list.
You said the original trilogy is great without George involved, with or without George involved, but now you said the Return of the Jedi sucks.
And Rogue One.
You just contradicted yourself.
to make really cool visuals.
Also, the whole Mary Sue thing, but I'll get to that topic soon.
And that's fine. The guy who directed Jedi probably just let Hamill, Ford, and Fisher just take the reins on their performances. You know, guys, you've been doing this for 2 movies already. Just do whatever you want. At least that's how it feels. I don't know. That's just a guess.
Then he goes trashing George again.
Of course, because why not? Why not? Why not? We can't trash Lauren Kasdan and Richard Monquard, rest in peace, and Irving Kershner, rest in peace. We gotta blame George because he went from a guy who had a plan to make this the one and only trilogy, and now gives another trilogy. Rape my children. He's a hack, fraud, greedy businessman. Why not?
You're doing a Plinkett impression, I can tell.
Subtle.
It feels especially apparent in the case of Harrison Ford. What I'm trying to say is Han is really boring in this movie.
No, he's not.
He isn't.
He's boring as balls. Probably because at this point, Harrison Ford really wanted Han to be killed off.
Well, true.
Which would have been much more narratively moving. Han is the best part of the first 2 movies. He's cool, he's funny, he's sarcastic. Everybody loves Han Solo because of these first 2 movies. Here, he's just a bumbling, boring idiot.
Yeah, just like, well, yeah, that's you, Cosmonaut.
And also, that award goes to the sequel trilogy Han Solo. That sequel trilogy Han Solo went out like a whimper. He did.
I like how you literally paused on this image right here.
That is just perfect.
Someone screenshot it.
Harrison Ford, right there.
Oh my!
There's also another image with Han Solo later on with the whole Mary Sue rant in his sequel Disney video.
Lovely.
He feels like a character on Friends, not the gunslinging hero that we once knew him as.
Alright. You've been disconnected. Sit tight. We're patching you back in. You guys see, or
he feels like a guy who doesn't want to do anything exciting. He begs Lando to fly the Falcon in the final battle. He hasn't been in the Falcon in a long ass time. Why doesn't he want to do it himself? Also, why is he so chummy with Lando? Because the last time we saw him, Lando left him to fucking die. He betrayed him. Why is this plotline completely?
Because the Imperial Army
arrived before our heroes. Well,
so Lando had no choice but to turn Han Solo in.
Really dropped.
And have them left prisoner so Luke can be used as rescuing bait.
Not to mention a trap made by Vader.
Luke, Chewie, and Leia learned to forgive Lando, but Han didn't get that chance. He's been in fucking cryostasis. His personality overall just feels soft,
carbonite,
and more subdued for some weird, unexplainable reason. He still has like 1 or 2 funny lines. No, he has like 1.
I used to live here, you know.
You're gonna die here, you know. Convenient.
But most of the time, he's just along for the ride instead of actually calling the shots. I don't know. Maybe he's just like really tired. I kind of feel tired. Because this movie's so boring. This movie puts me to fucking sleep. It is so boring. The previous movies weren't big dumb action movies, but the pace was kept up with exciting, intense moments.
This is also where he
the princess gets caught by the bad guys.
This is where he also contradicts himself too.
There's a guy who listened to other people, other older online critics, quote unquote, who enjoys big '80s schlock action movies like Van Damme movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, the works. Commando, anyone?
Messengers on an escape pod to meet with a young boy and a wizard. Then they have some close
Obi-Wan Kenobi is a Jedi, not a wizard.
This is the film about space wizards intended for children. Like, bruh.
Also, pretty graphic image with Aunt Beru and Owen.
Yeah, nice pause there.
Counters before they hire some shady scoundrels to get them off the planet. And then it just gets more and more exciting from there. In Empire Strikes Back, you have the main hero being attacked by fucking Bigfoot in the snow.
There's Cole.
It's pronounced a Yeti.
Wampa.
Gets caught in a snowstorm, and then he gets rescued by his friend, but right afterwards, the bad...
yeah, but they were rescued by rebels later.
Yeah.
Guys attack their base with a full frontal assault that our heroes...
Because their transport have died.
Barely escape. The main character is sent to a mysterious world to learn ancient magic, and the other characters are on a cat and mouse chase through the galaxy for the rest of the movie. Nothing in Return of the Jedi really feels that urgent. Han doesn't need to be rescued right away. He can technically just hang out there for a little while. He's not going anywhere. The Empire isn't really making any big moves to snuff out the rebellion, even though in the last movie, they were. It's called The Empire Strikes Back. Why did they stop striking? Palpatine explicitly
Go on.
You know,
tells Vader not to attack the rebels in this film. I guess he'd rather host
because he's got other plans set up, because he can easily crush the rebels on Endor.
Yeah. Cocktail parties with these spooky friends of his.
He's an overlord. What do you expect?
On the command ship. A small rebel force has penetrated the
I gotta pause this, because of copyright.
Shield and landed on Endor.
I'm pausing it every second, every sentence.
I hate you.
I know. What the fuck happened? Did everybody get bored? Did Palpatine just get bored of fighting this war?
No, he's luring them in. so he can crush them.
These clowns don't even seem to care anymore. Like, yeah, it's implied that Palpatine can predict
You guys
whatever's
are much
going to
more
happen.
complex
But then
than you
again,
think.
he seems to be bluffing for a lot of it, or just making
called-
really good
I don't
educated
know,
guesses
confident
based on
villain?
obvious information. Plus, if he's
Also-
so good at seeing the
also,
future, how come he didn't see
also-
this coming?
Also, here's the thing. After Darth Vader severed Luke's hand, in this movie, he's not as aggressive. He's not as aggressive as he was in the first two movies. Because the connection to his son, Luke, is what is keeping him from being so aggressive to his other officers.
Yes.
Maybe he was just really tired that day. I'm tired too. I'm so sleepy. Now, my biggest issues that I have with this movie happen
Then just go to fuck to sleep.
in the very first act. Han's rescue at Jabba's palace. Here's the problem I have with this whole opening arc. Other than it being really, really unexciting for some reason, Luke's plan is so convoluted and it relies on way too much stuff happening. His plan had absolutely no right actually working. Now, if you guys don't
They worked just fine. I mean, yeah, the whole getting Han out thing didn't work, but he had a backup plan where he will
Plan
come
B.
in.
And
Come
then we
in.
have come in and rescue them, and then he has to deal with the Rancor, and then we gotta do his Plan C. And the Plan
Get
C
your
worked.
Get your hands dirty.
remember, here's exactly what happens. First, he sends R2-D2 and C-3PO to Jabba with a recording of him asking for an opportunity to bargain for Han's life. As an offer of goodwill, he apparently is giving R2-D2 and C-3PO to Jabba. Jabba decides, yeah, no, fuck that, and he keeps the droids anyway. Luke then sends Leia, disguised as a bounty hunter, to turn in Chewbacca as a bounty. Then she threatens him with this bomb so that he gives her more money for the bounty. Why? I don't know. I'll get to this later. Anyway, then she stays overnight so that she can thaw Han out of the carbonite, but then she gets captured herself. So now everyone in Luke's crew is captured. So Luke goes to the palace himself, steals a gun, and tries to
That's
shoot
plan
Jabba
B.
in the fucking face. Then he falls down a trapdoor, fights a meatball monster. I'm not even going to talk about
It's not
this because...
Meatball. It's the Rancor. It's inspired by Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon.
If you want to see a meatball monster, then look up a pain elemental from Doom.
Yep.
The Rancor
Yes.
fight is actually the only exciting thing that happens in the sequence, so we're just going to leave
No,
that alone.
that actually
But
looks
now
more
Luke-
like the Game Boy Godzilla face.
Well,
You know, the puzzle game.
is captured as well, so Jabba decides to kill them all by throwing them into the Sarlacc pit. Alright, so first of all, why did he give C-3PO to Jabba too? C-3PO doesn't even know the plan. Why wouldn't he at least tell him the plan if he's supposed to be a part of it? Wouldn't it risk your plan going horribly wrong by not telling one of your friends about it? I guess people would be upset if C-3PO wasn't there. Sure, whatever. It should also be noted that 3PO is fitted with the restraining bolt, which means that if Luke let him in on the plan and needed him to do something really important, he wouldn't have been able to. Restraining bolts make it so that droids can't disobey orders. Yeah, you can check the facts on Wikipedia, or you could just watch A New Hope, where they're used for the first time. Also, what if they put a bolt on R2? Then I guess he wouldn't have been able to give you your fucking lightsaber. Wait a minute. Why don't they put a bolt on R2? They explicitly don't do it, for no reason. Secondly, what was Leia's plan with the thermal detonator? Jabba isn't stupid. They say multiple times that he is a very cunning individual. Mind tricks don't even work on the guy. So what if he was like, okay, just use the fuck.
Yeah, like a lot of creatures from Tatooine, Jedi mind tricks don't affect them.
Swallow, for instance.
Mind tricks do not work. Only money. Which Anomaly can come in and
Sound like
do
there's a
that
crab
impression.
there.
Anomaly does a very good impression of Watto.
Fucking grenade.
Just look up his Rise of Skywalker review as Watto.
You idiot. You'll kill everybody, and then you're not gonna get paid. You fucking moron. It's not like the detonator is even used again in the movie. It's not like a Chekhov's gun or anything. It's just forgotten about. The grenade's gone. Don't worry about it. Why does she even...
Get your free Boba Fett. Again, get your free Boba Fett pajamas today.
Also, if you look at the antenna, you can tell that footage was reversed. I don't know why, but That's a weird ending choice. I guess. I guess the way it was originally portrayed didn't work out, so they had to reverse it. Why can't you reassure it? I don't know. Probably a mistake in editing, but I don't know.
Even need more money from Jabba. This serves no purpose. I don't understand why this is here. Thirdly, does this whole plan hinge on the idea that these events will happen exactly in the sequence that they occur? Can Luke see the fucking future? The way that Luke is nodding at everybody in this scene, it makes me think that this is exactly what he wanted to happen. How
This
the
is
fuck
also a meme moment.
could he have known that Jabba would capture them all, keep them alive, drive them out to the desert with all of his friends on the sand skiff, and feed them to a giant monster in the sand? Who the fuck can predict all of that? You must be really good at chess, Luke. Like, what if Jabba just killed him in a way that doesn't allow you to have an open...
He was thinking of a few plans to rescue Han.
brawl with everybody? What if he just tortured them or disintegrated them? Because we've seen that he's fully capable of doing both of those things. What's stopping him from killing everyone before Luke gets there? What if he decided not to bring R2 on the sand skiff?
Well, Jabba wanted them, if they were kept in Jabba's palace, or if they disobeyed Jabba, Jabba would have them killed.
Exactly.
This is a gangster. As Captain as Pinocchio, I think as Pinocchio said, you can't take her royal highness there. The Hutts are gangsters.
Then you don't get a lightsaber. What
Is it weird that I think Jabba's like a mafia boss?
The Godfather ain't one. Jabba's death.
Yeah.
Godfather.
Yeah.
Somebody died. Also, was Luke's endgame just to start fighting everybody? He doesn't even go for Jabba himself. What if Leia was incapable of overpowering this hulking monster? You had a lot of faith in your unarmed, naked sister.
Scantily clad.
Do I even need to comment on that? No, I do not.
Also,
it's actually sensitive.
Also, by the way, there's a lot of fan art of like Sally from Sonic wearing that kind of outfit.
Of
I mean, technically, isn't Sonic from that series kind of like that? Just a thought.
Leia has proven before that, yeah, she's pretty badass. But what if her fight had been any more difficult? She kills him in a room full of his friends and colleagues, and no one tries to stop her. I mean, I guess she beats him anyway, so whatever. It doesn't matter, I guess. Here's the thing. If Luke was just planning on a full frontal assault, why not just whip out the fucking lightsaber right from the very beginning in the palace? Like, don't send anybody else in.
It's R2D2. I mean, granted, there's a deleted scene where he puts the lightsaber, his new lightsaber, in to R2D2, but
yes, there was a deleted scene of that.
He wants to keep it as a surprise, as part of one of his plans.
Find everybody on your own, because obviously you can handle them all. That was never really a concern of his. Now don't say, oh, well, Luke wouldn't do that because it's not the Jedi way. He's murdering these people! Now to top all this shit off, Boba Fett dies like a bitch.
He doesn't die in this movie.
I said he dies, because as far as...
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
The new canon is concerned, he's dead as fuck. Not only does he get killed by Han...
he's not dead.
Of course.
On accident. He screams like a wuss.
Also, that failed kick. Thank God it was cut.
And then gets eaten by a horrifying hentai monster that burps cartoonishly afterwards.
It doesn't have tentacles.
How
in the original version.
In the last movie, there's a really cool scene where Boba gets the jump on Luke. Luke is like sneaking around Cloud City when BAM! Boba Fett out of fucking nowhere. But it's not out of nowhere. In the previous shot, if
every OT fanboy wears my pajamas.
Of course.
If you look in the background, you can see when Luke unholsters his blaster, Boba hears him and turns his head. He was ready for his ass. He is fully prepared. But none of that coolness is present in this movie. So that's the first third of the movie. And aside from some cool stuff, it pretty much sucked. So the second arc must be better, right? Yeah, no, it's not better. The entire middle portion of this movie is occupied by fucking Ewoks. This subplot is so unimaginably dull. The team spends an entire third of the movie hanging out at Build-A-Bear Workshop.
What a terrible joke.
I mean, to give Return Jedi credit, at least has Warwick Davis in it when he's still young at the time, and guess what? He played the main character in Willow. So,
And also, Anthony Daniels was gonna play it, but Warwick Davis stepped in because Anthony Daniels was sick.
I thought it was Kevin. I thought it was the actor who played R2D2.
Yeah, Anthony
Kenny
Daniels.
Baker.
Oh wait, Kenny Baker. I kept Oh my gosh, I just switched them around. Kenny Baker got sick, so Warwick Davis had to step in to play the Ewoks.
If I return Jedi, there'll be no Willow for Warwick Davis.
Yes,
like Will Offgood. Yeah, that's the main character.
Also written by George Lucas
and directed by Ron Howard, who starred in American Graffiti. And also directed Splash,
and also directed that whatever movie.
The Da Vinci Code?
Yeah, that too, and just
A Beautiful Mind and How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
He also directed Solo. I was like, that whatever film. Whatever you want to do film.
If the Ewoks were used significantly less than they were, things really wouldn't be that bad. The encounter where the heroes get captured and almost eaten is actually kind of fun. But Jesus Christ, this is what we get for the rest of the fucking movie. Luke and the gang spend the night here, eat dinner, fuck around. I mean, weren't you guys sent there to do something important? Don't you all have a job to do? So Luke gets...
I mean, the Emperor wants to wait till the rebels do a full-on attack.
Yep.
The Emperor is patient in wanting to destroy them.
Gets himself captured because even he's sick of the Ewoks. Now you'd expect Luke's reunion with Vader to be an epic affair, because last time they were near each other, they were trying to kill each other. Vader mutilated him. Things got kind of emotional.
And this time, Luke, instead of fighting, he turns himself in to the Empire so he can convince his father to join back to the good side, the light side. While Vader himself is still tempted to the dark side, but still hesitant about it. Especially when Luke refers to him as Egg Skywalker.
This is a rebel that surrendered to us. Although he denies it, I believe there may be more of them.
It's so fucking dull.
It's not dull, as you can tell from the previous movie.
We get some interesting dialogue between Luke and Vader, but it's not really necessary for things to pan out in this way. This stuff could have happened in a much more climactic manner. This is how you run into an ex-girlfriend, not the evil cyborg space wizard that...
It feels climactic to me.
That happens to be your dad. Now luckily, we're moving into the final act of the movie, and by this time you would think that things might get exciting, right? Well...
Exciting is hardly the word I would choose.
This final battle is...
Exciting is the hardly I could choose for the for your videos.
Also, sorry guys, I had to use the restroom.
That's
I'm back
okay.
now.
Okay.
We got 5 minutes left.
Almost.
Oh,
it takes a little while for Sheev to goad Luke into fighting, but as a viewer, you can see the battle getting worse and worse for the rebels, and Luke must feel pretty hopeless at this point. He probably thinks that fighting his way out of here is the only option he has left. Then there's this really good reveal about
the Emperor wants to fight them to the death.
Yep.
So what other option would they basically have?
This is one of the only good dramatic reveals in the movie. You know what? No, it's the only one. But the problem with this climax is that there's just too much going on, and not a lot of it.
Again, this is the last part of the trilogy. They want to go all out.
Yes.
Yeah, heck, even I knew for a fact this was literally going to go all out.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't even know what to expect. All you need to know is that they're going to go all
Ewoks
out.
are fighting stormtroopers. Han and the crew are trying to destroy the shield generator.
Is it weird that I thought that
in space with Admiral Akbar, and Luke is fighting Vader. Now there are only
is it really weird that I thought
that are actually
the little
interesting.
Ewoks kind of look like
Vader and the Death Star is in space. The space battle is
animal crackers.
Impressive.
Yes.
And you feel the stress of the fleet as they get caught in two traps.
Insane.
It's a trap.
Yeah, I know it is. I say 1.5 because the focus should definitely be more on Luke than anything else. This is his
What?
movie. It's called
So it's a family soap opera. You're supposed to have war in the background. Without war, it doesn't tell anything within the story. The story would be meaningless without it.
Yes.
called Return of the Jedi. Whether that refers to Luke returning or Anakin returning to the light, the action should.
It means the Jedi Order could be reborn, potentially be reborn.
Revolve around these two characters. In their last movie, their duel was actually pretty long. They went all over the fucking place. And here
Not
it's
that
much
long.
shorter because
The Jedi can freely show themselves after being hidden for so long.
It makes sense that way.
there's just so much other shit that's crammed into the climax. The fight is good, yeah. And the character stuff that we get for Luke is great. But then we have to look at more dumb shit in between all this. Oh, look, they throw rocks on their heads. They throw rocks and they have little sticks.
There's reasons for it. These guys are small.
Primitive.
And smart.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the
I
point.
mean, it can. I am in between this though. Because like an army of stormtroopers with blasters versus Ewoks with a bunch of traps.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
a question
really
on who would
exciting.
win.
It's not exciting.
Yeah.
Point is, basically, the Ewoks, they basically had the advantage because, well, the environment and how they work together and such.
And have hidden traps.
Yeah.
Exciting. I'm lying. It's not exciting. Now I could keep going on.
Don't
and on.
underestimate these
But
little
look,
guys.
The movie's fucking over. That was it. It was 2 hours, and most of it was pretty fucking boring. And yeah, I say it.
I didn't find it boring.
Not really. It's never really dubbed as boring, honestly. What do you find entertaining?
Over and over again. That's the only thing wrong with this movie. It's boring. I could compile.
Oh,
maybe
you want to
a
know
half-
what this? Oh, you want to know what I would have to say?
What?
The Zombot arc.
Yeah, and
And
guess
also Mr. Tinker. Mr.
also
Tinker arc.
and also another thing, Rise of Skywalker.
The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, Solo. Oh my lord.
Hour of fun and interesting content from this movie, and some of that stuff would be among my favorite Star Wars moments. Like the last fight. The fight between Luke and Vader is actually really fucking interesting. But that's just not enough for me. So I can't help but imagine how the movie could have been made just a little differently to make it a lot more exciting.
Yeah, makes it boring is corporatized story arcs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
Stealing, plagiarizing.
Yeah.
Totally not plagiarizing.
Disney and IDW, corporate entities that suck.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to say suck, but that are not good.
Make
Kathleen Kennedy.
ideas that are rather poorly, I'll say.
Kathleen Kennedy equals Ian Flynn.
Yes. Yes, both of them love corporatization and just corporatizing beloved franchises.
KK, feminism. Ian Flynn want to be like the games because freedom fighters are just defunct. It's just a defunct property. It's
You make me happy.
Of course. You make me happy.
See, this is why I did Metopia and made Ian Flynn the big baddie.
Yes.
All right.
Back to the video. Oh my gosh, I keep pressing the wrong button.
Wrong button,
You know what would have been
boy.
cool to see? If this movie was paced a little differently and featured different
pause.
scenes, we could have gotten
Oh
to see
gosh. Okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, he's putting on John Williams music. Of course he fucking does.
Why's that?
Disney will cuck us.
Actually, no, that would be Warren Chappell. Warren Chappell owns the rights to the
really good
his first 6 soundtracks, and whereas Disney holds the publishing rights to all 6, and also the rights to the sequel trilogy soundtracks. So they make that clear here.
And also Rogue One and Solo's soundtrack.
Scale adventure, chronicling how the Rebel Alliance brings the band back together and stops the Empire once and for all.
I hate you, YouTube, with fire passion.
Start the movie with Jabba's palace. Let us see him and get a sense of how shitty a person he is.
I guess he's doing it on purpose, especially when someone does response to him. So
Maybe
that
show how
that
Lando
result
gets planted into the
down.
palace, have Luke show up, offer a peaceful negotiation, then just fucking let loose and fight everybody with Lando's help.
Of course.
They can fight Boba Fett and have Boba get a really good final fight that feels satisfying.
Well, that was a waste of blaster. That was a waste of rifle.
Maybe the other characters actually do get captured in a previous unseen attempt to save Han.
Also, why is
That
he
would
playing
then it wouldn't make sense. Then where would they come from?
Yeah.
Maybe they already planted themselves like Lando did.
Also, why is he playing? Why is he like the prequel music if he hates the prequels? Hypocrisy.
Yeah.
This can be done so that we can see all the characters doing something cool in the first few scenes.
I have to pause this every time because every sentence because I can't get copyrighted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't you just love it when companies put actual audio files into the bots, and then so that the bots can detect where the person is actually using the song or doing cover of the song? Don't you just love it?
Yeah.
I got copyright claim for doing a Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald cover on James Horner's score to on certain cues of James Horner's score to Star Trek to the Wrath of Khan result as a re-upload.
Yeah, Anomaly had to keep pausing the video on Samuel Gavin's take on the top 10 worst prequel changes because Samuel used John Williams music the whole fucking time.
Mm-hmm. I was mentioning that that when he reached a certain, I think he reached like over 4,000 something. I don't know. He reached a certain number of subscribers. He did a live stream on that. When he was playing Battlefront 2 with the music on, he got copyright claim. I assume that it was privatized because of copyright claim. So.
Yeah.
Have a quick opening action scene to set the stage and get the group back together. Then have Luke go back to Dagobah, split up with the party so that he can talk to Yoda and Obi-Wan. Since this is a plot point that's actually worth revisiting.
Okay.
Then cut between Leia and the other characters on a counteroffensive against the Empire. Have the rebels, who have been relatively hidden since the last movie, leading full assaults against Empire bases. Our characters can be seen as war heroes, strategic masterminds. We can see their full evolution as heroes actively fighting and winning the war. We can
Okay, you're just pointing out what the exact movie.
Of course.
I'm gonna have patience and just wait for a little bit so I can just resume the video.
Oh yeah, the copyright bot's still scanning, so the content debots.
You can see some kind of battle or skirmish where they come across information about the second Death Star.
Of course.
Then they regroup and plan the assault on the second Death Star.
Okay, how come do people, mostly shield access media, and also people who just regurgitate crap, always never get copyright claimed, but
like that?
The shield access media always never get copyright claimed when it comes to using actual copyright music, but like from the films, but small content creators like us get copyright claimed.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
No.
Keep the final battle separated into two halves.
Yeah, then that wouldn't be interesting. Which one would be interesting? That like then a portion of it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Han, Leia, and the others fighting the Empire's forces either on the ground or in the air, doesn't really matter, while Luke fights.
Well, that's because the Death Star defenses are in Endor.
Not to mention Death Star 2 isn't finished yet.
Fights Vader inside the Death Star.
Palpatine has a backup Death Star.
Bless you.
The Jedi doesn't even have to be the only thing returning. Basically, have the overall theme be the heroes returning to form. I feel like I'm giving suggestions for a movie that isn't even out yet. And the disappointing thing is that this movie already fucking happened.
Of course it did. It's going all out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the biggest fan of the final product. This
is the conclusion.
Still a lot of effort being put forth, but overall it stands as the weakest movie in the trilogy.
You can say that.
I mean,
but our opinion's gonna vary, though.
Yeah.
I say the weakest in the trilogy is probably A New Hope.
You know, the more I think about putting Empire as my favorite movie of all time, the more I like. Is it really? Especially the fact that most OT purists always like shill for the movie as being dark and gritty and the best one.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
say Revenge of the
want-
Sith and Return of the Jedi are my favorites.
Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, and like A New Hope are my favorite movies, and also, cool.
Hey, Cole.
Hey.
Hey, I didn't know you had Discord.
Well, I just decided to get one now because Ty sent me it.
Yeah, we're near the end of the Cosmonaut stream.
Oh, you guys did Cosmonaut? Holy shit.
We only did the original trilogy, we're gonna save the good stuff for later.
Holy crap, man. I gotta not miss out on that then.
It came on. You only showed up at least.
I didn't. Well, I was in the middle of like watching Preacher, and then I just realized, oh wait, you guys wanted to do stuff later. I forgot.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'll remind you in advance.
It's fine.
You're here at least.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to. Okay, there we go.
With help from some glaring issues that a lot of people ignore.
I have to keep pausing this, Cole, because copyright music. He's using old man John Williams music.
Yeah, I can tell, but wait, so I don't hear anything though on my end.
Also, that stupid ass song.
Oh gosh.
In the special editions, yes, I'm going to talk about it.
He's not okay.
I can't hold it in any longer. The CGI is already dated. How does the CGI in the prequels look perfectly fine? This looks like fucking garbage.
Whoa! You say they're perfectly that prequel CGI perfectly fine?
He's
contradictory.
Yes, I actually put together a video where he contradicts himself a lot.
Okay. Granted, you can clearly tell that the special editions and the CGI and special editions and the Phantom Menace was clearly rendered
nice
using.
pause there.
Yeah, I'm just
The
gonna.
whole sequence.
Good grief.
We got the same dancer girl. Good thing black don't crack because she looks exactly the same. But still, do you really need to reboot the whole scene? That's just a waste of resources. This scene isn't even that important. It lasts like a minute. And the song you made is hilariously bad. I don't know what these things are. These things? Yeah, but they're not fucking brass instruments. So how are they making that noise? This motherfucker just has a harmonica. It's just a regular harmonica. Why is there a sexy Rhodian woman with breasts? Where do these drums come from? They weren't even in there
He's
before.
losing his mind.
This isn't Star Wars. This isn't Star Wars. This isn't Star Wars.
I want to punch you in your fucking face. Yeah, that was it for the stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the end is near.
Uh-huh. You want to see that punchable moment again?
What?
Cole?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's look at this punchable moment again.
Harmonica.
Why?
It's just a regular harmonica. Why is there a sexy Rhodian woman with breasts?
Oh,
Where do these drums
who
come
cares?
from?
Shut up.
They weren't even in there before. This isn't Star Wars. This isn't Star Wars. This isn't Star Wars.
Jesus Christ. The soyness.
This
Yeah.
man, I swear to God, he's gonna be the death of me.
I know. And guess what?
Enjoyable.
We got 2 more to go.
Is it me, or he sounds like he has a Brooklyn accent, but it could be me.
I
No, he
can't
just-
wait to get to Attack of the Clones, where he just says, "A man who sends a man who sends a man who sends a shapeshifter who sends a robot
actually a
who sends
changeling.
bugs to go kill Padme."
Inspired by Dr. No.
To go kill Pat.
Whams? What? That's it.
Cricket noise.
Oh boy.
Anyway, thank you for having me on this live stream.
This was something, I tell you.
Hey, interesting to meet you, Grant Harper.
Nice to meet you too, cool code. Sorry about that.
That's fine. So yeah, you were on that stream before with Anomaly, right? With
Yeah.
That was about CinemaSins, right?
Yeah. Also, I made some mistakes I made during the stream, especially for Jar Jar part. It actually was inspired by Charlie Chaplin. It's actually inspired by another pair of shorts that George actually got inspiration from, like during his writing process. Forgot what they're called, but I did rewatch the Rick Royally video, and yeah, that's just bad. That's just like bad memory on my part. So,
Yeah,
I
I've
make mistakes. I'm only one brain at the end of the day. I'm not some high genius critic or anything like that. I'm just a casual viewer.
Well, yeah, that's the casual viewers though seem to understand things a little bit better than the so-called critics.
I mean, I used to be influenced by critics, but not anymore. Not anymore. After I saw shit through the cracks of Disney Star Wars back in January of 2009, the more I watched those reviews on like critics, the more I began to dislike them. And also I watched Muller's critique, TLJ critique, actually like a few months after I realized Disney Star Wars is crap. So
Yeah. I just looked up. I just watched The Last Jedi and then kept watching it, and saw Rise of Skywalker in theaters, and I just hated Rise of Skywalker on my first viewing.
I saw the leaks.
Yeah.
I spoiled myself with the leaks, and oh boy, and I'm like, no, I'm not giving Disney that sweet money. I'm going to just watch Richard Jewell in 1917 instead because they're good movies.
I went to see the movie, and sadly, the leaks were true.
I'll tell you this, guys. For my viewing experience of The Rise of Skywalker, well, first of all, I only saw it because there was nothing else to do. I saw it when I was in like Tennessee and stuff. And we even saw it in 3D too, which is, well, it was the only version that was available. And you know what? Yeah, like while I was doing it, I knew that this movie was pretty much shit, but I found more enjoyment out of watching it just because of how stupid it was.
Also, here's a tip suggestion. We know there's going to be shit. Don't waste your money on it. Just waste your money on just waste your money on like something else like 1917 or Richard Jewell or anything. Spies Disguise or whatever.
Or better yet, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. I gotta do something.
Or better yet, or like Birds of Prey was better than The Rise of Skywalker.
But that ain't saying much.
Yeah, and I thought that movie was just okay.
Yeah,
I ain't bothered watching Birds of Prey, so I just watched Sonic the Hedgehog instead. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was the best movie of this year so far.
I've
seen it in theaters.
It has a little influence of social media relevance, but it's better than Birds of Prey after all. I didn't even bother watching it. Is Ewan McGregor in that movie, Birds of Prey?
Yes.
Oh boy, Ewan McGregor.
I thought he was entertaining.
Used to be champion acting, and now you become a male feminine. You cheat on your wife. Why? Also, in that late. Also, I forgot which video, but in the late, he was on late night talk show, and it's like pretend dueling with another host. And he didn't even bother recognizing the hills. He chose Anakin's instead of, and instead it was like Ben Kenobi's instead of the actual either one of two lightsabers that Obi-Wan used during the Clone Wars, and or the second one at least, Revenge of the Sith, and New Hope. Did he? I mean, granted, his memory, but I mean, he could have just asked the prop makers if he can keep one for his own personal collection. They know that this is what signifies my character. Obi-Wan Kenobi instead of just picking up Anakin's second lightsaber. So,
I just have to say
because of my fascination with lightsabers, I've grown used to like recognizing which one's which.
And also, did you know that Rey was supposed to have a dual-bladed lightsaber?
Yeah, I was actually earlier watching somebody made like audiobook vids for like the script of the Colin Trevorrow version of Episode 9, and from what it seemed like, it would have been more. It would have felt more like Star Wars, but
and
it
that
still wouldn't have been able to
lightsaber
call it
duel.
a trilogy.
And that lightsaber duel, Rey loses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wouldn't have helped. It wouldn't have helped like salvage the trilogy, but it would have felt like a worthy conclusion at least.
Yeah, I'd rather see the guy doing Jurassic World than the conjurer of cheap tricks, J.J. Abrams.
Yes. Overall, but yeah, in the meantime, I'll probably be on my the Star Wars audiovisual media list, looking at whatever Star Wars related stuff I can binge, so I can wipe away the Disney stuff clean from my memory.
Yeah, once theaters open back up in my area where I live, I'm probably going to see Empire Strikes Back in theaters.
Seeing that in theaters would be nice, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the special edition version, right? Yeah. Well, and yes, and Rick Worley is going to make... Yeah, he made the first prequels video, which I haven't seen all of, but he's going to make the second video, I believe, which talks about the special editions and how they are essentially the definitive edition, because it's to make it feel like a cohesive saga.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than just a corporatized piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he just went back and... The reason why George went back and changed things was because...
to protect them.
Yes, because so that it could keep in continuity with the prequels.
And keep to his own vision.
Yes.
Like,
just because... you go on.
Yes, like with Carl Bullers and Ken Petters working together, and Mike Gallagher working together in the Archie Sonic series, the original team wanted to create and make money. But now, like, when Mike Pellerito stepped in as president of Archie, they just wanted to make money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now IDW is like a big corporate entity. Oh, Cole left.
Oh, dang.
It's just like every good story they have is now corporatized.
Mm-hmm.
It's like comic books even got corporatized by IDW. Like Transformers, My Little Pony, the Teenage Mutant fucking Ninja Turtles, so on. It's all corporatized.
Sorry. I got some like little stomach issues.
That's alright. You could leave if you like.
Okay, so we'll do this again at some point, right?
Yeah, we'll call it a night right here, if we like.
Also, Ty, we still need to plan out when we could do like comic readings with Worlds, because she's gonna be leaving and such. So yeah,
on vacation.
Maybe we should plan out a better date. No, she's just going out with a few friends.
Like, I feel like tomorrow could be good.
If she's available.
All right.
We better. I'll let her know.
If
Okay.
not,
Hey, see ya.
see ya.
See ya.
All right, this is Mr. Tyrex signing out.
Bye bye, everyone.
Man Harper. Signing out. Let your emotions soar sky high. Take care, everyone.
All right. Also, peace out and enjoy.